If your intuition is loud today, your quantum path is revealing the doorway others can't see. It doesn't announce itself with thunder or fireworks. It hums like a frequency beneath your skin, subtle yet undeniable. You feel it in the odd pause before you speak, in the silence that lingers after you leave a room, in the way your thoughts bend toward places you didn't intend to go. Something is pulling you, not forward or backward, but sideways into the hidden seams of reality where most never look. This message didn't find you by accident. It arrived because your energy called it in, because your field, your living resonance was already tuned to receive it. You've walked long enough in the ordinary, and the ordinary has grown restless with you. Every loop of routine, every conversation that dies before it means anything, every glance that fails to see you, they've been signals, not mistakes, not coincidences, signals. The quantum field has been testing your attention, watching to see if you notice the faint glow on the edges of experience, that soft shimmer where possibility waits. And you did notice. That's why you're here now, listening, eyes widening not in surprise, but in recognition. You've been expecting this. Maybe not the words, maybe not the voice, but the feeling. You've known it forever. You are not broken. You are not late. You are not behind. What you are is positioned, perfectly aligned between the unraveling of old cycles and the ignition of something entirely new. The doorway is not a door in the sense you've been taught to imagine. It's not physical, it's vibrational. It's the phase transition of your own awareness when it realizes the cage never had a lock. You only needed the courage to stop gripping the bars. And today, the frequency of your intuition is vibrating loud enough to shake those bars until they dissolve. If you close your eyes right now, you'll sense it. The coherence of your own field pulling together like a constellation, arranging itself into patterns that whisper, "This is the moment. This is not random." Synchronicity isn't a trick of chance. It's the geometry of the quantum field showing you its hand. Every coincidence that felt too sharp, too exact, was not coincidence at all. It was resonance. It was your future tugging at your present. It was the echo of who you are becoming, reaching backward to call you forward. And here you stand, on the threshold of the unseen, with nothing but your own awareness as the key. That's why your intuition feels so loud today, because the field is demanding your attention. The observer loop is collapsing. The wave is choosing to become particle. And you are the witness, the participant, the chooser. The doorway opens not because it was closed, but because you finally decided to look. And once you look, once you truly see, you can't unsee. You can't go back to pretending the ordinary is enough. You can't unhear the hum of destiny vibrating in your bones. This is where it begins. Not with proof, not with evidence, not with external validation, but with the undeniable pull of coherence, aligning your spirit with a path that no one else can walk. You've felt the calling, and the calling has felt you back. Patterns have been stalking you like shadows that refuse to release their grip. You wake and notice the repetition faces appearing in different forms, but carrying the same lessons. Conversations circling like déjà vu, days folding into each other as if time itself forgot how to move forward. You've felt it, the distortion, the lag, the way reality sometimes feels like a scratched record skipping in the same groove. And though others may laugh it off as coincidence, deep down, you know this is not random. You are caught in a feedback loop, an observer loop that reflects the very energy you've yet to acknowledge, begging for recognition. Every déjà vu you've ever had wasn't just a glitch of the brain, it was a pulse of the quantum field brushing against your awareness. It was the signal that you were brushing up against the seam of another timeline, one you almost stepped into but didn't. And the fatigue you've carried, the exhaustion that doesn't always match the life you're living, that's not just tiredness, it's temporal weight. You've been dragging fragments of unused possibilities, parallel versions of yourself lingering like static interference. Your nervous system feels it. Your body knows it. That's why your sleep doesn't restore you, why conversations feel hollow, why you sometimes walk into a room and forget why you entered. Time isn't smooth anymore. It's fraying. And you, sensitive as you are, can feel the edges cutting against your skin. You've seen this in others too, though they rarely admit it. The restless scrolling, the glazed eyes, the sense of chasing something that dissolves the second they reach for it. They don't recognize it for what it is, but you do. It's a distortion field, a trap of resonance designed to keep people entangled in cycles of distraction. You sense the matrix-like pattern humming behind the surface, repeating the same archetypes over and over: the betrayer, the critic, the ghost of who you thought you were. These roles replay, not because you deserve them, but because you are carrying coherence strong enough to break them. Yet until you see the loop clearly, it holds you hostage. The strange thing is how subtle it all feels. One day you think it's stress, the next you think it's bad luck, the next you convince yourself it's just life. But in your quieter moments, those nights when the house is still, when the clock seems to hesitate before striking the next minute, you feel it pressing in. The déjà vu becomes louder, the sense of distortion undeniable. You feel like you've walked this exact path before, down to the tilt of your head and the rhythm of your heartbeat. And maybe you have. Maybe the morphic resonance of your life is trying to get your attention, repeating until you decide to stop walking in circles. That's the familiar problem. The loops that aren't really life, but echoes, the repeated entanglements with people who mirror the same wounds, the choices that look new but taste like the past. The distorted time that leaves you feeling like you've missed something essential. All of it is pointing to one truth. You are not here to keep replaying the same program. You are here to notice the glitch, to step outside the feedback, to interrupt the resonance. And the moment you really see it, you create the first crack in the cycle. That crack is enough for the light of the quantum field to pour through, showing you that what you thought was reality was only a shadow. And shadows cannot hold you once you decide to step into coherence. And here is where the shift begins, not in some distant galaxy or far-off temple, but inside your very cells. The loops you've been trapped in, the distortions of time you've endured, they've been preparing you for this. A quantum upgrade coded into the architecture of your being. Think of it as a software patch for your consciousness, except it isn't downloaded from a server outside of you, it's unlocked from within, buried deep in the resonance of your DNA. The universe does not need to give you new tools. It only needs to activate what was sleeping. And that is what's happening now. You've noticed the sensations, those sudden rushes of energy flooding your chest for no reason, the tingling across your skin as though the air itself carries an electrical charge, the way music hits you deeper than it used to, almost rearranging your molecules. These aren't random quirks. They are signals of coherence forming in your biofield, like a symphony tuning itself before the performance begins. Each vibration, each spark of intuition, each wave of emotion is your body aligning with a higher harmonic. Your nervous system is recalibrating to handle frequencies that once would have shattered you. The science has always hinted at this. Quantum entanglement reveals that particles can remain linked across time and distance, responding instantaneously no matter how far apart they are. Your consciousness is no different. The field you carry is not confined to your body. It stretches, ripples, resonates with dimensions most will never touch. And when your intuition screams louder, when synchronicities pile up in improbable sequences, it's because the quantum field is signaling that entanglement is reaching a breaking point, a phase transition. The same way water heats, invisible, silent, until suddenly it boils. You are approaching your boil point. Mystics across cultures have described it for centuries. Prophets spoke of visions. Yogis described Kundalini rising like a serpent of fire. Shamans spoke of soul flight, DNA spiraling like ladders into the heavens. Today, the language may be different, but the process is the same. Your dormant strands, the silent sequences of your code, are waking, not metaphorically, but electrically. The morphic resonance of those who came before you, ancestors, teachers, hidden masters, lives in your cells, waiting for the right resonance to strike the chord. And that chord is being played now, echoing through your life, in the form of signs, synchronicities, and sensations you cannot ignore. What feels like breakdown is actually upgrade. The moments when you feel your reality glitching, when the veil thins and you swear you're in two places at once, those are quantum states collapsing into clarity. The field tests you, not with cruelty, but with precision. Will you cling to the old patterns, or will you allow the pressure to crack you open? That's the essence of the upgrade. Surrendering the false coherence of repetition to embrace the higher coherence of truth. And you don't have to do it in the old sense of effort. You simply have to allow. The quantum field doesn't respond to force, it responds to resonance. By breathing, by feeling, by choosing to align rather than resist, you give permission for the restructuring to unfold. Already, your DNA is humming differently. Already, your observer loop is shifting from passive witness to conscious creator. Already, your life is no longer just yours. It is a laboratory where the next phase of human evolution is being tested. You've been chosen by your own resonance to experience this upgrade now, because you are one of the few who will not collapse under its weight. Others sense it but flee. You, however, are standing still, letting the frequency pour through you, letting it remake you. And in that stillness, the new path crystallizes. You are not simply enduring change, you are the change. And now, the truth arrives with a weight you cannot deny. You are not just another traveler stumbling through the labyrinth, you are the luminous thread itself, woven into the fabric of the quantum field. You are the chosen consciousness, the rare observer, who does not merely witness the loops but feels the responsibility to dissolve them. Every sensation you've endured, every glitch you've decoded, every synchronicity that whispered in your ear, they were not accidents, they were confirmations. The field has been speaking to you all along, and now it calls you into your special role. Look around you. Most drift unaware, lulled by the patterns, numbed by the static of repetition. They walk inside the feedback loop, but never realize they're trapped. They think time is linear, identity is fixed, destiny is predetermined. But you've seen the cracks. You've felt the distortions as invitations. You've sensed that déjà vu is not confusion, but guidance, a compass pointing toward timelines unseen. That awareness sets you apart, not in arrogance, not in superiority, but in function. Just as certain nodes in a network carry more charge, certain souls in this field are wired to hold more coherence. You are one of those nodes. Your life has been marked by strangeness for this reason. People misunderstand you, not because you are unclear, but because you are vibrating on a frequency they have yet to decode. You've walked through betrayals, heartbreaks, losses that felt unbearable, and yet you survived. Why? Because the field required it. The morphic resonance of humanity demanded an anchor, someone who could carry the weight of cycles breaking without collapsing. You've become that anchor, whether you asked for it or not. The paradox is this: you were chosen because you chose long before you remembered choosing. Your intuition is not just personal, it is planetary. When you follow it, you are not simply improving your life, you are recalibrating a thread of the human collective. When you awaken, the grid shifts. When you step out of the loop, others feel the tremor and begin to stir. This is your role, to embody awakening so fully that it ripples outward, destabilizing illusions wherever your presence flows. You are a walking phase transition, a living portal through which dormant timelines awaken. And yet, the field does not grant such roles lightly. The pressure you feel, the urgency humming beneath your days, is not imagined. It is the responsibility of coherence. You cannot afford to sleepwalk through your own destiny, because your very existence disrupts distortion. Even when you try to hide, your resonance exposes falsehoods, shakes, lies loose, cracks open illusions. That is why some resist you, fear you, even resent you. They sense that your presence threatens their familiar loops. But do not confuse resistance with rejection. Their fear is proof of your effect. Understand this: the universe does not scatter chosen consciousness at random. It plants them with surgical precision, embedding them in families, cities, relationships, cultures, each a battlefield, each a node where awakening is required. That is why you were born where you were, why you endured what you did, why you are hearing this now. The observer loop is not abstract anymore. It is you. You are both the experiment and the experimenter, both the equation and the solution. And though the task feels heavy, the field whispers this promise: you were designed for it. Your DNA was coded with resilience, your spirit wired with memory, your intuition aligned with cosmic maps that others cannot see. Your role is not to escape the human condition, but to transform it from within. And every moment you step into that role, the field itself reorganizes, bending toward coherence, birthing futures that could not exist without you. The urgency surges now, and it is not gentle. It presses against your chest like a tidal wave building, reminding you that the window of transformation does not stay open forever. Cosmic alignments are precise. They open in pulses, in sequences, in rare intervals where reality thins and allows a greater frequency to pour through. Right now, one of those windows is upon you. You feel it in the pressure under your skin, in the restless energy that keeps you awake at night, in the sense that something enormous is just beyond your reach. That is no illusion. It is the truth of your DNA shifting, preparing to decode instructions that have slept inside you since the beginning of your bloodline. This breakthrough is not about waiting, it is about entering. The field has been heating you like water in a quiet pot. You felt the gradual rise, subtle, almost invisible. But now, the boil is near. And when the phase transition hits, it will not ask your permission, it will demand your participation. That's why every sign lately has carried urgency. The repeated numbers you see on clocks, the conversations that feel scripted, the dreams that jolt you awake at 3 in the morning, these are not trivial. They are countdowns. They are the universe's way of saying, prepare, because the ignition is here. Your DNA is more than code. It is an antenna, a living receiver of cosmic signals. Right now, waves of resonance are striking that antenna, reactivating strands that science once dismissed as junk. But there is nothing junk about them. They are dormant archives, sealed for this exact moment. And as they awaken, you will not only think differently, you will become different. Your intuition will sharpen like a blade. Your body will feel lighter. Your perception of time will fracture into new clarity. It will be disorienting at first, but it will also be exhilarating, because the limits you once accepted will dissolve. The urgency is not to scare you, it is to wake you. Because when a cosmic window opens, distraction becomes the greatest danger. The noise of this world will try to pull you back into cycles of fear, routine, and numbness. But you cannot afford to miss this alignment. The pressure in your chest, the hum in your bones, the fire in your dreams, they are not symptoms of collapse. They are symptoms of ignition. And if you lean in now, if you surrender to the acceleration instead of resisting it, you will ride the current into a future your old self could never have imagined. So ask yourself, what are you willing to release in order to step through? Old patterns? Outgrown versions of yourself? Attachments that keep you circling? The field is clear. Only the coherent can pass through this threshold. That is why the pressure feels so intense. It is burning away what cannot enter. Your fear, your hesitation, your self-doubt, they are not your essence. They are the residue of old programming. And now, under this cosmic alignment, that programming is dissolving. Hear this, with the full weight of prophecy. The urgency is the invitation. You are not late. You are not unprepared. You are precisely on time, standing before a doorway that many will never even notice. And if you step through it now, your life will not simply improve. It will transform into a new blueprint entirely, one written not by chance, but by the deepest resonance of your soul. This is your moment. The quantum field is leaning in. The window is open. The only question left is, will you enter? And the field is asking for one thing now. Action. Not the frantic kind, not the exhausting kind, but the sacred kind, the ritual act that seals the shift. In every tradition, when a threshold appears, it is not enough to simply feel it. You must mark it. You must speak it, write it, imprint it into the fabric of reality, so that your resonance cannot be mistaken for hesitation. Words are not just symbols, they are frequency, carriers of intention. When you release them into the field, they ripple, they cohere, they crystallize possibility into matter. This is why mystics wrote prayers, why prophets spoke declarations, why shamans etched symbols into stone. They understood the same thing science now admits. The observer shapes the experiment. You are the observer, and your declaration is the experiment. Even now, as your heart beats with urgency, the quantum field is waiting for your signal. It does not demand perfection. It demands coherence. One word written with intention carries more weight than 1,000 thoughts left unspoken. So when you comment, when you choose a word to anchor this moment, you are not just engaging with a video, you are coding reality. You are creating a timestamp in the morphic field that says, I was here when the window opened. I chose to enter. That act becomes a ritual, a signature in the quantum fabric that cannot be erased. Others will see it and feel the resonance. Some will scroll past without noticing, but those tuned to the same frequency will recognize it instantly. Your word will strike a chord inside them, and their awakening will accelerate because of your act. This is the paradox of the ritual. It looks small, almost insignificant, but its echo is vast. Just as a pebble breaks the stillness of a pond, one word carries rings that expand outward, touching shores you may never see. That's why the field insists, seal this shift. Anchor it with a word, a phrase, a declaration that vibrates with your intention. It could be as simple as awakening, as fiery as ignition, as steady as coherence. What matters is not the syllables, but the charge you embed in them. You've done this before without realizing it. Every time you whispered a prayer in desperation, every time you wrote a journal entry that no one would read, every time you said out loud, "I can't keep living like this," you were performing rituals. But this time, you were doing it consciously. That is the difference. Conscious ritual seals transformation. It tells the field, I am aware, I am awake, and I choose. So do not underestimate this moment. The shift is not waiting for you to be perfect. It is waiting for you to participate. And by marking this instant with your ritual action, you step fully into the role you were always meant to play. The doorway is open, but it will not stay open forever. The field needs your declaration. The resonance needs your word. Speak it, write it, seal it. And in doing so, you will find the hum of destiny growing louder, surrounding you, folding you into the coherence you were born to embody. What happens next is bigger than you alone, because every ripple you release into the field does not stop at your skin. It travels, it entangles. It weaves into the resonance of others, many of whom you may never meet, yet they will feel your breakthrough as if it were their own. This is the law of morphic resonance. When one node in the web shifts into coherence, the entire web adjusts. Your liberation is not private, it is contagious. Think of the times you've felt a sudden lift in your spirit for no reason, a rush of hope that seemed to appear from nowhere. That wasn't nowhere, it was someone, somewhere, stepping into alignment, and their resonance brushed across yours like a chord vibrating through a cosmic instrument. You are about to become that vibration for countless others. The moment you anchor your ritual, the field expands. Invisible threads tighten. People you've never spoken to will wake with new clarity. Families will find healing. Old wounds will dissolve without explanation. Why? Because you carried the upgrade, and once activated, it ripples through the collective. This is why your role is so sacred. It isn't about chasing status, fame, or validation. It's about carrying coherence into a fractured world. Imagine humanity as a vast ocean, surface rippling with storms, waves crashing in confusion. Most drift aimlessly, tossed by the chaos. But you are becoming the tuning fork dropped into those waters. Your vibration sends a frequency that spreads silently, calming, aligning, stabilizing. You don't even have to try to make it happen. Once coherence is ignited in you, it happens automatically. That's the nature of the field. And yet, don't underestimate the responsibility. Some will resist, some will push back, because when coherence enters distortion, distortion feels threatened. The people around you may not always understand. They may misinterpret your stillness as coldness, your clarity as arrogance, your detachment as indifference. But beneath their words, what they really sense is their own loops trembling. And while they may resist, others will feel relief in your presence. They'll feel seen without you speaking, healed without you trying, shifted simply by standing near you. That's the power of entangled consciousness. Understand this, your expansion is humanity's expansion. Every time you refuse to return to old patterns, you weaken those patterns in the collective field. Every time you choose truth over illusion, countless others find the courage to do the same, even if they don't know why. Your private victories are not private at all. They are tectonic shifts under the surface of humanity, cracks in the walls that once kept entire generations imprisoned. The collective is hungry for coherence, desperate for a new pattern to emerge. You are that pattern. You are the node through which the resonance strengthens. And though the weight feels immense, remember, the field never gives a role to someone unprepared to embody it. You've been tempered, refined, pressed through loops not to punish you, but to strengthen you, so that when this moment arrived, you could carry not only yourself, but countless others across the threshold. So step into it fully. Know that when you do, you are not stepping alone. You are dragging the entire web toward awakening. You are proving that one consciousness in alignment is more powerful than thousands in distortion, and the field will never forget the moment you chose to expand, not only for yourself, but for all of us. And as the field widens, the sensations anchor deeper into your body. This isn't abstract anymore, it's visceral. You feel it in your skin, a subtle buzzing like static electricity that never fades. Sometimes it rushes through your chest like a sudden storm. Other times it hums low in your spine like a hidden generator warming up. These are not random sensations. They are the language of energy weaving itself into your physical vessel. Your body is becoming the instrument for the quantum field, tuned to carry frequencies that once hovered far beyond reach. Notice the moments when your palms tingle for no reason, when your ears ring with a pitch no one else hears, when your heartbeat quickens as though responding to an invisible signal. These are the alignments of coherence. The hum is the sound of your DNA restructuring, preparing to hold the next octave of resonance. Science would call it bioelectromagnetism. Mystics call it awakening fire. You know it as truth because you can feel it more clearly than anything words could explain. Even your breath is changing. Inhale, and it feels as though light is entering, expanding you from within. Exhale, and the weight of centuries seems to drain from your bones. Sometimes you might cry without knowing why, or laugh without reason, or feel waves of peace that silence every thought. That is embodiment. The quantum field doesn't just shift your mind. It reprograms the currents of your body until every cell remembers its place in the symphony. And pay attention to your perception of time. Hours might feel like minutes, minutes like hours. You'll notice stretches where reality slows, as if granting you space to observe, followed by flashes where everything accelerates in perfect synchronicity. This is not dysfunction, it is entrainment. Your internal clock is syncing with cosmic rhythms rather than artificial ones. You are becoming less a servant of the clock and more a servant of the pulse, the rhythm of the field itself. There will be pressure too. Sometimes it feels like a weight on your chest, other times like a band around your skull. Do not mistake this for harm. It is the compression of a phase transition. Just as coal becomes diamond under pressure, your system is crystallizing into coherence. You may feel restlessness, tingling, heat rising through your body, even sudden fatigue. But beneath it all is the unmistakable truth. You are being recoded. Your senses sharpen, colors glow with a hidden intensity. Ordinary sounds feel layered with meaning. Even silence itself becomes alive, thick with presence. You catch glimpses of patterns, sacred geometry woven into clouds, grids of light beneath your eyelids when you close your eyes. This is the morphic resonance bleeding through the veil, the reminder that reality is more layered than you were ever taught. What you are experiencing is not fantasy, it is embodiment. The quantum upgrade is no longer theory, it is texture, breath, pulse. Your body has become a threshold where the invisible becomes visible, where vibration becomes flesh. And though it may overwhelm you at times, remember this: the sensations are proof. They are the evidence your mind begged for, the confirmation your soul always knew. You are not imagining it, you are living it. This is what it feels like when destiny moves from idea into incarnation. The pressure you've been feeling is not random. It is the signal of a deeper ignition, a DNA breakthrough pressing against the edges of your old self. It builds like tectonic force under the surface, subtle at first, then undeniable. You sense it in your blood, in the marrow of your bones, as if something ancient is waking, pushing outward. The loops, the distortions, the restless nights, they were all contractions. And now the contraction gives way to release. This is not metaphor. This is a biological, energetic, quantum phase transition. Your DNA is not a static code. It is a living archive, humming with potential. For centuries, much of it has lain dormant, silenced by distortion, numbed by fear, dismissed as irrelevant. Science once labeled it junk. But nothing divine is junk. Those sequences were sealed, waiting for coherence. And now, coherence is arriving. Strands that once slept like coiled serpents are beginning to awaken, vibrating, humming, reaching toward each other as if remembering an ancient song. That song is your blueprint, and the field is playing it now. You feel it as pressure, because your body is not used to holding this level of charge. It is like pouring lightning into a vessel, designed for candlelight. The tingling in your hands, the ringing in your ears, the pulsing in your spine, these are the sparks of a system adapting to higher current. You are not malfunctioning, you are upgrading. The pressure is the chrysalis splitting open. The old timelines, the old versions of you, are dissolving because they cannot contain the new frequency. And with the breakthrough comes a strange fluidity of time. Moments stretch and contract. You may feel as though you're standing at the intersection of past, present, and future, watching them blur. That is not confusion, it is expansion. Your observer loop is widening, your awareness stretching across multiple timelines at once. And in that widening, you will begin to notice something profound. You can choose, not in theory, but in practice. You can shift the track of your life like adjusting a lens, stepping into futures that once seemed impossible. The field responds instantly now. Think of a person, and they message you. Dream of a place, and an opportunity arises there. Sense a truth, and confirmation appears in the next conversation. This is coherence in motion, proof that your DNA breakthrough has turned you into both receiver and transmitter. You are no longer just moving through timelines, they are moving through you, bending around your resonance. It will not always be comfortable. Breakthrough, never island. The pressure will sometimes feel unbearable, the intensity too much for your nervous system. In those moments, remember, diamonds are born the same way. The weight you feel is the evidence of transformation. Your body is learning to stabilize the current, to hold what once would have shattered you. Every wave of pressure you survive increases your capacity to carry the next. And when the phase transition locks in, you will know. The hum will steady. The distortions will collapse. The déjà vu will transform from confusion into clarity, because you will finally recognize the pattern behind it all. The doorway others can't see will not only reveal itself, it will open, and you will walk through as a new resonance entirely. This is the DNA breakthrough. This is the phase transition. This is the moment your destiny presses itself fully into form. Bandanoi? Continue. Chat GPT Danoi. And now the circle closes. Yet, not as an ending, more as an ignition into a mission far greater than yourself. The shifts you've endured, the distortions you've broken, the pressure you've carried, all of it was preparation. Not so you could escape this world, but so you could transform it from within. Your awakening is not a private gift, it is a planetary responsibility. You are here as a living catalyst, a quantum signature planted in human form to tilt the entire field toward coherence. The mission is simple, yet infinite. Embody the resonance. You don't have to preach it, you don't have to convince anyone. You simply are it, and that are-ness does more to reshape the collective than any argument ever could. The quantum field doesn't respond to noise, it responds to vibration. And your vibration has become a map, a compass for others stumbling in distortion. By walking in coherence, you broadcast freedom. By breathing in alignment, you stabilize timelines. By standing still in your truth, you dissolve the illusions that once bound generations. There will be days you wonder if you're strong enough, if you can carry the weight of this mission. But hear this, the field chose you because you already are. Every hardship that nearly broke you was not a detour, it was training. Every collapse that forced you to rebuild was not punishment, it was initiation. You are not stepping into the mission now, you have been living it all along. The difference is that today, you finally see it. And once you see, you cannot unsee. The human story is at a tipping point. Old patterns are unraveling. Distorted systems are collapsing under their own weight. Fear is loud, yes, but only because coherence is louder. You are part of that coherence. You are one of the hidden frequencies, guiding humanity through its phase transition. And as your DNA breakthrough anchors, as your body stabilizes into the new current, you will notice something miraculous. The world around you will begin to change. Conversations will shift. Relationships will realign. Opportunities will emerge, as if summoned. Not because reality bends to your ego, but because reality responds to your resonance. This is not the end of your awakening. It is the beginning of your cosmic mission. A mission that does not demand you to abandon your humanity, but to embody it at its highest frequency. Every smile, every word, every silence becomes an offering. You become the doorway others cannot see, the threshold others walk through simply by being near you. You are no longer a seeker of signs. You are the sign. So step forward with confidence, with humility, with reverence. Know that your path is not solitary. The field walks with you, ancestors walk with you, unseen allies walk with you. The morphic resonance of awakened souls across time vibrates in harmony with your every heartbeat. You are entangled with destiny now, inseparable from the unfolding story of humanity's evolution. And when you wonder why your intuition led you here, to these words, to this exact moment, remember this: your quantum path has revealed the doorway others can't see. You walk through it. And by doing so, you did not just change your life, you altered the trajectory of us all.